So today I just wanted to share some thoughts that I had about contractor PMs, where they come in, why they're needed, and mostly what their impact is on the relationship between the customer and the vendor. And these thoughts are just my thoughts. I'm just sharing these based on my personal experience, don't take it the wrong way. I have mostly been a vendor implementing solutions for customers, so I can understand that other people may have different perspectives on the topic. Alright, I think it's time for more water. So from my own experience, a consulting PM is usually employed by the customer, and their goal is to make sure that the implementation goes smoothly. Typically, it would be customers that don't have an internal PM to take on the project. What I've seen is that companies who want to implement a software would buy it from the vendor and then sometimes ask a consulting PM to handle the relationship between the project manager of the vendor and themselves. So in the eyes of the customer, this is all benefits because they don't have to hire a full-time PM to deliver the project. They probably get an experienced PM to run it, and they don't have to deal so much about the vendor on negotiation and make sure things get done correctly. But from a vendor perspective, like usually myself, the problem is that you're now dealing with multiple people. You have different stakeholders with different objectives. You have the customer, who their goal is to implement the project, be successful with high adoption of the solution, and what success means to the customer might be very different to what success means to other people, including the consulting project manager, because they want to show that they bring value. Their objective is likely to get on another contract soon after this one is completed and build reputation through referrals. And the way they show their value is typically twofold. One, the project runs on time, so which means they complete the project within the initial timeline, because they only hired for so long, so maybe 6 months, and their objective is to run the project and get it completed before their contract expires. If they can do that, they can guarantee that their customer is satisfied with them and they did a good job. But more importantly, the other way they show value is by running under budget. And that's where it gets really complicated for the vendor, because the consulting project manager is going to try to squeeze every inch of you. I've seen multiple times consulting project manager trying to negotiate hours here and there, trying to blame the vendor for everything so they get free stuff. While I think it's okay to be challenged a little bit on these things, I don't think it's very healthy to have somebody always discrediting what you do on the project. And this can be very harmful to the relationship between the customer and the vendor, because now you have a project manager in the middle that is basically, his goal is to destroy your relationship to build credibility for themselves. So I've been in situations where we had to escalate this problem, and basically as a vendor we went directly to the customer to tell them that their project manager was basically damaging the long-term relationship between us. And here the key point is long-term, because the consulting project manager, they only hear short-term, but the customer, when they're implementing a new solution, likely they will use it for a long term, so you will have a long-lasting relationship with them. Alright, but I think my coffee is ready, so... Oh, it smells so good. Oof. Alright, so these were my thoughts on consulting project manager. And I'm sure people don't have the same experience, and I'd love to hear from consulting project managers what their thoughts are. So feel free to leave a comment in the section down below, and see you in the next one. Merci, and au revoir.